What is going on, guys? It is Dave. It is Monday morning at about 11:30. I guess it's more afternoon, but I slept in today, so whatever. But anyways, I'm back from my trip to Denver. Had a great weekend. Spent a lot of great time with my girlfriend and her family, watching a few baseball games. Got a little sunburnt, as you guys can see right there, but today is Memorial Day. It's a very special day, I think, because it's a day where people can set aside their political beliefs, hopefully, and thank those who have served our country, who have fought for what they believed in, and made the ultimate sacrifice, and died. So today I wanted to share with you guys a little story about my personal life and my grandfather, who was a POW, Vietnam. So a little bit of background about my grandfather, who has the same name as me, Dave Holmes. My dad named me after him, so I think that's kind of cool. But anyways, he was born around 1930s in Massachusetts, born and raised in Boston. Got a very good education, received a 33 on his ACT with a full ride to Boston University. Was very intelligent. I believe he graduated with about a 3.9 or 4.0. And then he went and he joined the Air Force immediately after he graduated because he wanted to serve his country. He was a patriot by nature. He felt the compulsion to do so. Well, I shouldn't say compulsion because he wanted to do it, but not long after that, he got asked to be an astronaut on one of the missions. I'm not exactly sure which one. I'm not exactly sure the dates, but he declined it because he wanted to serve in Vietnam. He believed that his country needed him, in effect. So he ended up going to Vietnam as a fighter pilot. So on a mission in Laos on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, he was flying forward air reconnaissance on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and he was shot down by 6 anti-aircraft weapons, and he landed in Laos. And about an hour later, someone else in his platoon nickname was Tiger Hound, by the way, came and observed him unconscious. But then right after he observed him, 2 other fighter pilots in that squadron were then shot down. And so he was not able to save him. At that time, he had to leave because of all the losses to their squad, per se. And so he left, and they came back the next day, and he was gone. He was not. There was no evidence of a break-in in his cockpit or anything like that. So he was either taken out by choice, he dragged himself out, or someone else, or his cockpit was open and someone else dragged him out. But after that, because of the intense fighting that went on in this specific area. Right after that pilot left, there was 4 to 5 hours of bombing and strafing that went on in this area, so it was a highly contested area, and they were not able to dig up the remains of this place for another 20 years, and they never found his remains, but they did find some of his metal, some of his gear or something. I'm not exactly sure on the specifics, but they found some things in, I believe, around 1993 that they brought back to my family. That we still have to this day. But I share this story because I think it's important to recognize that no matter your political beliefs or your beliefs about whether war is justified or not, it's important to recognize that there are certain people who are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for you to have those beliefs in the first place, even if you don't believe in war or violence or whatnot, there are still people out there that are willing to fight for your other beliefs, and your right to protest against war even. I think that gets lost a lot. I think that's put in the fray, but so when my family got the news that he was missing in action, obviously my grandma was devastated, and my dad was only 3 at the time, so that means he, in effect, basically grew up without a father. And he had to work extremely hard to succeed, because if you've read the statistics, it's very hard for kids without fathers to sort of move up the social hierarchy and find a good job. So the statistics are very clear on that. But he did work, and he's managed to find himself in a very lucrative position in life. And he always kind of tells me about how he used to really just harbor resentment towards the United States government for what he believed to have been killing his dad. Because I believe that the rules of engagement in Vietnam were supposed to be that we were not even allowed to be in Laos at certain times. I'm not exactly sure on the specifics. If you know, please comment below. But for a long time, he harbored a lot of resentment towards, the government, the Air Force, whatnot. But I remember the day he told me, he said, there was a time when I finally had to realize, that it was my dad who made the choice to go to war, to fight for his country. It was not the United States government that made him make that choice. He made that choice of his own free will. And so he explained to me that there's no reason that he should hate the government or the Air Force, because he should actually respect his father more for making that choice than he should hate the government for, maybe not getting his remains back, not searching the area, not doing enough to save him, and whatnot. But I think this is an important story for those reasons, and even if you might not find it important for the reasons I stated, remembering history is an extremely important thing to do. Those who do not remember history are doomed to repeat it. And I'm sure you guys have heard all that stuff, so I don't need to go over that with you. But yeah, I wanted to share this personal story with you, let you guys know an interesting fact about my life that has to do with Memorial Day. And hopefully you guys learned something from this. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. If you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day, and God bless.